Welcome to Shri Shri Pad Baba VMSNT lecture series on Shri Vishnu Sahastranam Stotram. Today we shall be focusing upon Panchmahabhut. Panchbhut and Panchmahabhut are the pair of interrelated concepts. Panchbhut are Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu and Akash, and these five-fold formulations, when permit a transcendence, when there is a trance of transcendental content through the swara of these formulations, then these formulations as Mahabhut are the Bhut together with the trance through these formulations. Panchbhut and Panchmahabhut are interrelated conceptual range of formulations. Panchbhut are the five formulations: Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu and Akash. These formulations as Bhut formulations are leading us to TC values 25, 8, 14, 13, 81. However, when there is a trance, there is a transcendence of Akash Tattva, space element, transcendental content, Divya Dravya, through the vowels of these formulations, then the transcendence values through these formulations make these formulations as Mahabhut. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be parallel to this format, features and values of the formulations. Five formulations, Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu and Akash, are designated as Panchbhut. When there happens to be a transcendence of Akash Tattva, fifth element, or as a result thereof, when there is a trance, there is a transcendence of five space content through the vowels, the swaras of these formulations, then these formulations transit and transform as Mahabhut. So Panchbhut and Panchmahabhut are the pair of compactified states of the existence phenomenon as five elements transiting and transforming as the transcendental formulations, becoming Panchmahabhut. Panchbhut are the formulations Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu and Akash. These five formulations are of TC value 25, 8, 14, 13 and 8. It makes the values as these are. 68 is the total value of the TC values, and 68 we know is equal to 34 plus 34, and value 34 we know is equal to 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, which is a fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube 9, the representative regular body of a 9 space. It is this feature which is a feature of Panchbhut. Panchbhut, five elements: Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu and Akash, earth, water, fire, air and space, are the formulations, and these formulations are the Bhut, Panchbhut. These Panchbhut formulations we know the value punch is leading to TC value 15 and value bhoot is of TC value 19, making it a summation value 34. These formulations value 34 or is a value of hypercube 9 with 7 space in the role of a dimension. We know the formulation sub with simple rendering value is 7 and it is of TCV value is equal to 14. It is in this context that we will appreciate that these 5 formulations Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu and Akash together are leading us to value 68, which is 34 plus 34. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well to have proper appreciation of the formulations Panchbhut, and further when we are going a step ahead, then we will be reaching at the transcendence at the vowels, swaras. So when we are reaching at this value, we know it will be leading us to value 0. As we know, the triple vowels are 4, 2 and 2, and the transcendence along these is 4, 2 and 0. Here value is 2, 0 and minus 2. Here value is 2, 0 and minus 2, and product in each situations is 0. Therefore, this leads to trans value 0. Now here the APA is the formulation which leads us to value 20. As we know, A is taking us to value 1, minus 1 and minus 3, making it value 3. So again, A minus 1 and minus 3 takes us to value 3, and synthesis value is 5. So A gives us value 5, and here we are getting value 15, and it makes trans value 20. Agni leads us to trans value 3, Vayu as 32, Akash as 36, and we see these Panchbhut with trans value 91 becomes a Mahabhuts. So Panchbhut value is 68 while the Panchmahabhut value is 91. See, this value 91 minus 68 is a value 23. We know 23 constitutes a pair of values 23 and 21. Therefore, it is 21 as dimension and 23 is as domain. And 21 we know is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. And further we know that the formulation Maha is leading us to TC value 21. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel to these features, these values, these formats of the Vedic formulations. 5 formulations, Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu and Akash are Panchbhut. These Panchbhut formulations are leading us to TC values 68. These 68 values equal to 34 plus 34, and 34 is value of a Panchbhut. Therefore, first feature of this range of formulations, these Panchbhut formulations are the formulations which lead us to the TC value 68. At next step, when there happens to be a transcendence at the vowels, at the swaras, at the dimensional frames of these formulations, then we reach at the trans value, the total transcendence, this 5 space content transcendence. It takes us to value 91. We know the 68 is the TCV value, 91 is the trans value, difference value is 23, and this value 23 we know constitutes a pair with value 21 as domain and dimension, and value 21 is the trans value of formulation Maha. Once we are face to face with these features, these values, these formats of the Vedic formulations, then we will be acquiring proper insight and we will be attaining appropriate enlightenment about the Vedic systems. A step ahead, now let us reach at the implications as mathematics for this format of a reach from Panchbhut to Panchmahabhut. The mathematics of it is going to be Sarga, which would mean a creation. The Srishti, the creation as it is going to be along the format of a hypercube 6. This hypercube 6 is a fourfold manifestation layer of 4, 5, 6 and 7, making a total value 22. So therefore there are 22 phases of creation, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 4 space as dimension, 5 space as boundary, 6 space as domain and 7 space as an origin. This fourfold manifestation layer as of 22 phases of the creations, the sargas, and we know that Karam Samapti is 11 and 22. Karam Samapti. We know the creations is going to be within a creator's space, a 4 space, which is of a spatial dimensional order, and within surface, within 2 space body, we will be having interval and square both. These are the features which are simultaneously at work. Therefore, this sarg, as it is, we know, are having 22 upsargas. These 22 upsargas are per, pra, up, sam, anu, av, nis, nir, dus, dur, viv, odd, ni, adhi, api, ati, su, ut, abhi, prati, pari and up. Let us reach at the TCV values. The TCV values of these 22 formulations are sequentially 9, 11, 7, 14, making it 41, a value for the set of the first 4 creations, a 4 space in the role of a dimension. Then the another set of 5 formulations lead us to value 12, 9, 13, 13 and 13, which makes it a value 61. So it is the value of the second fold, boundary fold, 5 space in the role of a boundary of a 6 space, leading us to value 61. The third fold is of 6 steps, 6 phases of creations of value 13, 9, 7, 10, 10 and 8, making it a total value 57. And it is this value 57 which is going to be the value of the third fold, that is the domain fold, that is 6 pure as a domain fold. The last and final fold is of 7 phases of value 7, 6, 7, 11, 15, 11, 9, making it a value 66. See, this quadruple phases 41, 61, 57 and 66 lead us to value 225. This value 225 together with value 11 of his sarg gives us a value 236. It would be blissful. One will have a pause here and take note that the Ganita Upsutras are 13 in number, and these 13 Ganita Upsutras are a composition, a scripture availing in all 236 letters. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to see that sargas of value 11 as dimension leads us to value 13 as a domain. There are 13 Ganita Upsutras, and these 13 Ganita Upsutras are availing in all 236 letters. It is this mathematics of the formulations which deserves to be comprehended well. It is by comprehension, it is by insight, it is by enlightenment, it is by the bliss of this attainment that one will be face to face with the mathematics of creations, mathematics of sargas, which as transcendental value, as Panchmahabhut, as original transcendental values set up, we will be reaching at Ganita Upsutras. A step ahead now, when we will be reaching from Panchmahabhut to Panchmahabhut, then we will be having a transcendence through the vowels of these formulations, of these 22 formulations. Transcendence through the vowels of these, that means when we are at hypercube 6 as a fourfold manifestation, 4 space as dimension, 5 space as boundary, 6 space as domain, 7 space as origin. Then we know these themselves though are in the role of a dimension, boundary, domain and origin, but still these are the domains. Because these are domains, so these are within the dimensional frames. As these are within dimensional frames, as such there will be a transcendence along the dimensional frames. When we reach at this value of a transcendence of Akash Tattva, fifth element, transcendental content through the dimensional frames, through the vowels of these formulations, then we'll see that sequentially we shall be reaching at value 24, 30, 16 and 36 equal to value 106 for the first fold. At the next step we will be reaching at value minus 21, 22, 0, 0 and minus 18. But we know as we are within the creators of space, and within creator space we know 4 is equal to 2 plus 2 and it is also equal to 2 into 2. It is not only the superimposition of addition and multiplication operation, but minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 is further taking us to the superimpositions of the orientations as well. Therefore here the values are to be taken as an absolute values. Therefore the absolute transcendence values of the trans will lead us here to value 61. At the next step the value will be 29, and at the next step the value will be 48. We can see that these values lead us to the value 244. Here we see that these values as these are, when are taken along with the value Visargaha, it is taking us to value 40, it makes value 284. As such, we are having a range of flow line of 284 steps, which is having 283 gaps. And it will be blissful to take note that this value is parallel to the value of the total letters of 16 Ganita Sutras. We can appreciate 106, 61, 29 and 48. 48 is equal to 2 into 4 into 6 is equal to dimensional frame of 6 space. Value 29 is the value of Lord Brahma, creator of the spin. Value 61 is the value which takes us transcendence from one space to the 6 space. And value 56 is the value of 53 plus 53, which is equal to the solid dimensional frames synthesis. All these are the features which are simultaneously available to us as mathematics of the formulations. It is this mathematics of the formulations which is to be appreciated, which is to be imbibed, and it is by this imbibing we will be in a position to have a imbibing of the formulations, designations of Vishnu Sahasranam Srotram. The verse 1 of Vishnu Sahasranam Srotram C is having formulation Bhut, 1, this is second time, it is third, it is fourth, and it is 5. In the first verse itself, Om Vishvam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhut Bhave Bhavat Prabhu Bhut Krit Bhut Briddha Bhavo Bhut Atma Bhut Bhavana. The formulation Bhut is being availed 5 times. This formulation as Panchmahabhut is having a 5-fold phenomenon. It is a format. Bhut is a formulation which accepts value 19, which is equal to the value of the southern hemisphere. Therefore, the southern hemisphere takes us to a base. We know we have a dimension, then we have a boundary, then we have a domain, then we have an origin, and we are having a base. The base as it is takes us to the southern hemisphere, a value 19. It is this reach at the 5th fold by way of a transcendence which is being attained, which is being reached at within our solar universe. To appreciate, to have an insight, to have an enlightenment of the existence phenomenon of our solar universe, then we have to appreciate how the 4-fold creation of dimension, domain, boundary, and origin is transiting and transforming into a 5-fold range, and this 5th fold is going to be of a Bhut. It is going to be the past, it is going to be the prior state from where the ascendance would be there for having this 4-fold creations. It is this feature, it is this value, it is this format of the existence phenomenon of our solar universe, which will be taking us from Panchmahabhut to the Surya and step ahead to Dhruv. We know the value, the TC value of formulation Surya is 13, which up till this will make it value 81, and we know 81 is equal to 3 raised to power 4, which would mean that from within the creator's space, 5 space as solid origin, solid order origin, when will be transcendence upward, means the solid order means value 3, when it will be superimposed upon the 4 space domain, it will be taking us value 3 raised to power 4. Step ahead, we know is a Dhruv, is a pole star of value 19. It is here where the 5th dimension domain, in fact, as the dimension of 7 space, will be playing its role, making it a total value 100. And this we will know that Lord Krishna had 100 years lifespan and 25 years remaining lifespan has been in Dwarka. The total lifespan of Lord Krishna is going to be of 125, and formulation Krishna we know is of TC value 19. Therefore, it is this value 19 which is of a value Bhut. This is value 19 which of a southern hemisphere, which is going to be unfold for us the entire mystery of the existence phenomenon of solar universe. We shall be coming to it afterwards when we will be proceeding further with the other formulations. However, for the present, let us have a focus upon Panchbhut and the formulation Bhut, which is occurring 5 times in the verse 1 itself. We will be coming to the individual formulations subsequently, but for the present, let us have a focus that we have to approach the formulation pairwise as we are within a creator's space. So at the first instance, we have to reach at formulation Prithvi and formulation Apa, which leads us to TCV values 33, and the trans value comes to be 20. It is this to be appreciated, how the trans value 0 and reached next to trans value 20. We know The 20 is the synthesis value of the pair of transcendence ranges of zero order. It is this feature which deserves to be appreciated, deserves to be comprehended. And value 33 we know is the value parallel to the split of a three-dimensional frame into a pair of three-dimensional frames of half dimensions. It is this feature, it is this value, it is this phase, it is this step which is to be comprehended while we want to travel along the existence phenomenon as along the format of a Panchbhut. These Panchbhut as transiting a transform into Panchmahabhut are the features which at the first phase as the first pair of formulations is to be taken here, which ultimately is in fact the feature of a a three-dimensional frame which is splitting into a pair of three-dimensional frames of half dimensions, and as a result a trans is going to be a synthesis of a pair of transcendence ranges of a zero order. At the next step we will be reaching at the pair of Bhut, Apa and Agni. Both these Apa and Agni have its value of 8 in 2014 is mixed value 22, so it takes us to the hypercube 6. It is this value which we will know 2 and 3 is taking us 2 multiplied 3 is equal to 6. Still further we know 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. The trans value 20 to 3 makes it 23, and this value 23 we know is equal to 3 plus 5 plus 3 multiplied by 5. It is this feature, it is this value which deserves to be comprehended well. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to have a sequential reach as transition and transformation from the first pair of Bhut, Prithvi and Apa to Apa and Agni. It is this step which shall be chased very gently, very smoothly, and it is by being parallel to this transition, and this step from Prithvi Apa to Apa Agni will take a step ahead to Agni and a Vayu. We know 14 plus 13 is equal to 27. It will be taking us to 27, which is equal to 3 raised to power 3. See, we had started with a three-dimensional frame of 3 linear dimensions. Now we will be reaching at a three-dimensional frame of 3 solid dimensions. It is this feature, it is this value, it is this insight which is to be acquired by the sadhakas, and as the three-dimensional frame splits into a pair of three-dimensional frames of half dimensions, so here as well the three-dimensional frame of 3 solid dimensions when splits into a pair of such domains, and the one of the three-dimensional frame of half solid dimensions will be leading us to value 32, and here the trans value comes to be 35, which is equal to 5 into 7, and it takes us to a grid 5 into 7 grid which accommodates all the 35 elements, double-digit numbers of 6 place value system. One may have a pause here. One shall sit comfortably. One shall sequentially, as a phased manner, reach from Prithvi and Apa format to Apa and Agni format, and then from Agni to a Vayu format. A step ahead is going to be a step of Vayu to Akash. It takes us to TC value 21, and it is this value TC value 21 which is going to be a value we know 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 means a chase along the format of a Sthapatya miring rod, and there would be swap of a 6 space. It is this swap, and trans value 32 is equal to 2 raised to power 5, and 36 we know is equal to 6 square. Combined value is 68, which is equal to 34 plus 34, and 34 we know is equal to value of H9. So all these features are simultaneously available to us. It is this sequential arrangement of features and values of and along this Sthapatya ring rod at a step ahead when we'll be taking us from Akash to Surya to value 21. Again, here is value 21, here again is a value 21, and as such there is a reversal of an orientation. It takes us to value 27, and it is a value here of a value 27. It is this reach back, it is this phenomenon which deserves to be seen. As we know, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 6. 1 into 2 into 3 as well as 6. However, minus 1 multiplied by minus 2 multiplied by minus 3 gives us minus 6. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well as in from fourth space, which is of value 2 plus 2, 2 multiplied by 2, and minus 2 multiplied by minus 2. So it is this spatial order where the orientations get absorbed. However, in case of a trimonad, then we know 1 into 2 into 3, both are 6. However, the reversal of orientation is not absorbed. It is because of it there happens to be a reversal. It is this reversal phenomenon which deserves to be seen and see when we transit again from Surya to Dhruv. Then we reach at value 32, which is equal to 2 raised to the power 5, and here we reach at value 0, and we reach back at the start with position of a trans value 0. It is this feature, it is this value, it is this phenomenon which deserves to be comprehended well to have a proper appreciation and to have a proper comprehension and to have a complete imbibing of the format beneath the formulations of the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram in particular and of Vedic systems in general. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. One shall sit comfortably, permit the transcending mind to dive within the cavity of one's own heart and to be entitled for the transcendental grace, and the transcendental grace will multiply Brahma as 10 Brahmas and then of its own within one's body. This phenomenon as a prakriti, a natural phenomenon, will amount to the creation, absorption, dissolution and sustenance of a Purusha format. For it, we have to go back to split and synthesis of a cube as 8 subcubes. We have started with 3 space, and we see that cube is the representative regular body of 3 space, and 3 space splits into 8 octants. 3 space body cube splits into 8 subcubes, and when we have a synthesis of 8 subcubes, then we see it will be sequentially reaching us to value 27. Then pair synthesis with 9 values would be less, then pair will be there, 6 more, it will take us to value 125, which is equal to 5 cube. It is this value 125 which is the value of Lord, the equal to the age of Lord Krishna. Formulation Krishna is having a TC value 19, which is parallel to the TC value of formulation Bhut. All these features, all these values, this format and this phenomenon of the mathematics of the Ganita Sutras, of 13 Upsutras, of letters 236 and of sutras of letters 283, making it to a localized creations, taking us from Bhut to Mahabhut. Therefore, one shall sit comfortably, one shall revisit the formulations of verse 1 of Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram. These formulations of verse 1 in fact are the source formulations in terms of the features, values and format of these formulations. We will be parallel to the mathematics, sciences and technologies of the Vedic systems at work, in terms of which, parallel to which, is going to be the existence phenomenon within human body, within rays of the sun and of the solar universe in its entirety as an integrated phenomenon. From this phase and stage, we shall be picking up the thread ahead to be parallel to the formulations of Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram, starting with verse 1 and reaching up till verse 107. Thank you very much.